Something to mention, just like the euphonium, the tuba lives, you'd have one at home and one at school, and just bring your mouthpiece back and forth, because it is larger than some of the kids at this point.
And more importantly, if you don't have a tuba in your band, you don't have the foundation to the house of your band. So tuba players, you are the foundation of the band.
Heavy metal.
Heavy metal. So you want to hold up the instruments that are school rented, Mr. Marsali?
Yes.
Tuba, school rented. French horn, school rented. Euphonium, school rented. Bass clarinet, school rented. We really do not want you to go out and buy your own of those instruments if you choose them. They are very expensive. We really, I can tell you a bassoon story. My good friend in college played bassoon, majored in bassoon. Instead of buying his first car when he got his first job, he bought a bassoon. Not making that up. Okay? And bassoon is also school rented. We have one more instrument family for you. I'm back.
Percussion is not just the drums. Okay, you're not learning to play drum set in 5th grade band. And I say that because sometimes we'll have percussionists come into 5th grade band, and the first thing we do is we hand you, or you, I guess you bring them, because you get your own, but we take out these, your mallets, and people say, that's not what I signed up for, I want to play the drum set. You can play the drum set eventually, but this is where we start, with the keyboard instruments, with marimba, with xylophone, with the bells, all that jazz. This is also where having piano skills is absolutely mandatory. It is frustrating when, unless you're willing to work super hard, right? It's really frustrating to come in and be in a room full of kids who've taken piano lessons and who know what all these keys mean and not be the only one that knows that. Learning this is a million times easier if you already have those piano fundamentals under your belt. You do need to audition to be a 5th grade percussionist, so after this whole shindig, Miss Seiler is going to be right back there, and she's just going to give you a super easy percussion screening. We're just looking to see if you can keep time, right? If you can keep a steady tempo. Percussion drives the band. And if you're driving the band faster than I'm driving the band, it's going to, car crash, instrument crash. It's not pretty. So we're going to do that. Basic counting, Todd, TT kind of stuff like you've done in your general music classes back at school, just to make sure that you have kind of the general, doesn't need to be perfect, absolutely does not need to be perfect, but just the general knowledge that we're looking for a 5th grade percussionist before they even come in.
Right, and remember, the goal for all of these things is to make sure that the kids are successful. What's really frustrating is for a kid to try doing something and not be successful at all because we didn't look into it ahead of time to make sure they had some of those pre-programmed skills.
Yeah, absolutely. We want you to feel like you're being successful, exactly like Mr. Marsalik said. Aside from the keys and the pitch percussion we just talked about, there's a million different non-pitch percussion instruments that you will get to play in 5th grade band and beyond, like the snare drum, the tambourine, claves, shakers, maracas, bass drum, cymbals, rain stick, triangle, tons and tons. You will also learn these pitched percussion instruments like, will you hold this?
Yeah, play it, please.
Like the marimba.
Marimba. Hot cross buns, please. Beautiful. And of course, our snare drum, which we have a practice pad today, is just a rhythm instrument. Does not have melody, doesn't move up and down, it's just a rhythm. You want to do some rolls, play for us?
This is what you get at home, the practice thing. This is what you get at home, the practice pad. This is so if you want to practice and like your little sister's asleep or something, you don't wake up the entire house or scare your parents. It sounds a little bit like this. That was hot cross buns.
Yes.
So the school-owned instruments, as we've said, the school district will rent them out for about $100 a year. Bass clarinets, bassoons, French horns, euphonium, and tuba. Horns and euphoniums, you need to purchase your own mouthpiece. You can do that through Schmidt Music, which we will touch on in a second. Tuba players, we do highly recommend you get your own mouthpiece, otherwise you're going to use one that other people have used, and that can be kind of grody. Up to you though, because they can be a little pricey. Bassoon and bass clarinets will be issued their own instrument, but you have to get your own reeds and cleaning supplies for that. Euphonium and tuba, as we said, are the two instruments that will have one at school and one at home, so you don't have to lug it on the bus or anything like that. You can keep one here and keep one at home. We do have a very limited number of scholarships available for students who are unable to afford an instrument. So if you're like, man, but Miss Lundeen, I just really want to play the flute, but my family can't afford it. Okay, we're not letting money get in the way of you joining band, because we want every single one of you to be in band, and we will make it work. But we do ask that those instruments be reserved for families who are on free and reduced lunch, because we have, maybe 3 clarinets available for all of 5th grade, all the 200 5th graders. We have maybe like 2 flutes that are available, right? So that's on a very need basis. You got to keep the school-owned instruments nice, obviously. We trust you, that's why we let you do it. We trust you, that's why we give you these super expensive instruments to use for the year. But damages beyond wear and tear, kind of like renting a house, right? Damages beyond normal wear and tear will be compensated by the fam. When you feel like you have enough information, please fill out the registration form. Like I said, there are laptops in the back. Some of them have chosen now as the opportune time to reboot and decide to update, so that's really fun. But there's a few laptops back there available for use. There's some written forms back there. After you fill it out, you can leave it in the box if you'd like to do that. Otherwise, on your cell phone, you can go to bit.ly/joinslpband, or on the computer. You can do it that way as well. Again, please pick a top three instruments. Don't be like, my first choice is trumpet, my second choice is trumpet, my third choice is trumpet. Because I love that. I love that you're super excited and dedicated, but you might get a phone call saying, hey, what else have you thought about playing? Schmidt Music Rental Night, if you're looking forward to renting a rent-to-own instrument from Schmidt Music on May 30th in the band room, which is back that way. From 5 to 7 p.m., our Schmidt Music representatives will be here with information about how to rent those instruments, how to get them, what to buy, that kind of stuff. And you could even maybe play around with it a little bit at that time too. Before we, go ahead. Do you want to? Yeah, so just thanks for being here and for, being an advocate for your children and being an advocate for music. We're really excited to get to know each and every one of you. Are there any questions I can answer right now before we kind of all go away? Yes? That's an awesome question, thank you. Will the Spanish immersion kids and the non-Spanish immersion kids next year, you mean, be in the same group? So you'll be in lesson groups with your team, and then you'll be in big band with your team, but then the concert is everybody. And we'll all be learning the same music and everything else. Yes? Yeah. Yep, so when you first start out, we will just have all the clarinets practice together, right? Because I just want to focus on the clarinets and us putting all of those pieces together, et cetera, et cetera. And then we'd slowly build it. We'd have a big band with all the instruments, and then we'd put it all together with everybody. So yes, at the beginning, the same instruments would practice together. Yes? Awesome question. Thank you for reminding me to touch on that. You would find out before this rental night. Usually about a week before the rental night. So sorry, it's not up there anymore. May 30th. Sorry.